Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling, and shall we see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today? As, I don't know why, change your intonation up there. It's so strange how, well, I guess it's not that strange now I think about it, but I was going to be like, it's so strange. You do something for about 1,000 something times every single day for X amount of years, and then you can realise when you do it slightly differently each time. No, but now I think about it, that's probably to be expected or something. That's like just it's kind of how like building a routine kind of works, if anything. But yeah, I'm going to be doing my wait a minute, no, I did do that. Hold on. Okay, good evening everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow, it's 8:04 p.m. on Saturday, September 28th, 2024. The Okami episode was a bit late today, mainly because I hadn't recorded it, and then I had to basically splice together some things. So I got so I had to edit a video because I got interrupted in the middle of it. So it went out at 7 because I finished rendering at like 5:40, and I was like, it's not going to process in time, just put it up at 7. So I've got no backlog really right now of videos. I was meant to record more today, honestly I just didn't feel like it. So in fact I was going to go like play some games like pretty soon. Just, hop into the friend group Discord call we have. Oh, it was a bug off today. And see what games people are playing. But then I was like, oh, I haven't actually recorded Animal Crossing yet. So that is something I'm going to be doing, well, right now. I'm be real with you, I don't know what this accent is. But what are we going to talk about today? That is, of course, the golden question of today. The golden goose, the old golden egg. Sorry, this is a bit of a hard word, but have I ever spoken about pantomimes before? I don't know if I have. Hold on. This is, because if I haven't, this is a gold mine. I've not talked about pantomimes before. Okay, so pantomimes, I don't know actually for sure if it's a British, I don't know what's my accent there, for sure if it's a British art form or not, but my intuition always told me it originated in Britain. But it's basically a very over-the-top sort of theatrical play, which often, I guess, involves drag now I think about it, or cross-dressing or however you might want to put it. But it's basically like, it's like a theatre production, especially for comedy, and has these sort of like generic, it has its own sort of like media slapstick sort of tropes and gags and pratfalls and bits which are incorporated into them. But often they are, at least in my mind, they're sort of, I have this sort of stereotype that they're associated with like to younger audiences, because I think a lot of our school trips when we were younger, we'd go to the pantomime because it's generally sort of family friendly fun, I guess, and they're not normally adaptations of like a fairy tale or I was saying this to a friend yesterday, I don't know what the difference between like fairy tale, folklore, etc is, but it's an adaptation of one of those. So obviously I've seen like a decent amount of them when I was younger. I don't remember really much of them off the top of my head. I think I've seen like a Mother Goose one, and I really don't remember anymore. But there's definitely been quite a few. Because primary school is, I'm going to say, a number one sort of trip. What do you do for a load of like 30 primary school kids, and you don't want to like have to micromanage them exactly what they do, whatever? Take them to the panto, as it's called in Britain. Go sit them all down. They just had to basically sit still for like 3 hours, and they can jump about, they can laugh and have a good time. You don't have to watch them or whatever, because what kid is sneaking off in the middle of a panto? The kids love the panto. They give them the pantomime. Sorry, pantomime, not pantomime. Let's say it properly. But yeah, there's probably a Wikipedia article about it, isn't there? Pantomime. Type of musical comedy straight. Is it a musical? I don't really associate pantomimes and musical, but maybe they are. It's developed in England and is performed throughout UK, Ireland, and other English-speaking countries to a less extent, especially during Christmas and New Year season. Okay, fair enough. They include songs, gags, slapstick comedy, and dancing. Yeah, generally combines gender-crossing actors and topical humour. Fairy tale, fable, or folktale. That's the important part of pantomime. It's incredibly over the top. It's so unbelievably corny and cheesy. Like, it's deliberately so. It knows what it's doing. It's not like cheesy in the way that it's like, oh, we're trying to be like really hardcore like theatre form. No, it doesn't take itself very seriously. It's so over the top. It's so ridiculous. But yeah, that's a big part of pantomimes, is the fact that audience participation is encouraged. In fact, one of the most iconic things about the pantomime is this sort of like chant back and forth, which like the actors will say something and then it's just like everyone in the audience knows that it's like, oh, it's an audience time to like retort it or something. Like there'll be a thing like with the actor will be like, oh no they aren't, and then everyone in the audience goes like, oh yes they are, oh no they aren't, says the actor, oh yes they are, says the audience, and it goes back and forth 3 times, and just like, I don't know, it's like an unwritten rule, people absolutely just know it. And there's also a sort of thing, you know, it's like it's kind of like Dora the Explorer-esque now I think about it, like that sort of energy where like they're chasing the bad guy around, that sort of thing, and they're like, he's behind you, and they go like, what, where, and they turn around in a slow dramatic way, enough time for the evil villain to hide behind like a tree or something, and they'll be like, there's no one there, you're lying to me, and then the evil villain will pop out of the other side of the stage, and then everyone goes, ah, he's behind you, and then, you know, it's, as you can see, it's incredibly corny, and probably why I say it has this sort of like kids TV show energies, because I guess with the association with Dora the Explorer, just like, imagine you took Dora the Explorer and made it into like a really over top drama theatre kids, well no, that's not what I'm saying, theatre kid, but like dramatic theatre comedy performance, and honestly it is entertaining. I would say, like, I'm certain, like, as a kid I enjoyed it, I loved it. I'm sure as a teenager I'd be like, oh, I'm too good for this, and as an adult now I'd be like, yeah, why not. I wouldn't like go out my way to see it necessarily, but if I did kids or something and bring them along, if I had people who want to go see it, yeah, I'll see it as well. It could be a funny time. Yeah, long theatrical history dating back to a commedia dell'arte. I didn't know if it was developed partly from it. Okay, commedia dell'arte I don't know super well. I don't really know. I mean, I think a lot of my knowledge is actually probably from Genshin, but not of its concept. But the concept is basically that it's like a template, I suppose, for a theatre production where there's like guaranteed roles. So even if a story can change here and there, even if different people perform it, people will be like, oh, that is, I don't remember, that is that character, the knave. So we know exactly what sort of theatre tropes they'll fall into and what like their role is within the story. Let's see. Pantomimes are often, outside of a British Isles, pantomimes often used to understand to mean miming rather than theatrical form. Okay, I kind of noticed both, which I guess is kind of more of like the, not homogenization, that's a bit of a strong word, but like sort of a melding of different cultures coming together. I wonder what most famous pantomimes are. Aladdin. Yeah, I never really thought about this. I guess pantomime is like, you know, kind of like drag, isn't it? I don't know if it's actually the same. I guess it's probably not the same thing because they have like different origins. One from the origins of like musical theatre performance. I guess the others, well, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they had very similar origins, to be honest. I guess the way I would imagine is like, imagine like the Ugly Stepsisters or something from Cinderella, with like they have like the very over the top sort of makeup or whatever like that, and people go very ham with the performances. Oh no, performance conventions, this warrior. The leading male juvenile character of a principal boy is traditionally played by a young woman in male garments, such as breeches. Yeah, a lot of drag kings, drag queens. Her romantic partner is usually a principal girl, a female ingenue. A girl or a young woman who is endearingly innocent. I've literally never heard this word before. How do you say it?
Ingénue.
Ingénue. Okay. So a typecast basically like innocent maiden. Older woman, the pantomime dame, is usually portrayed, often the hero's mother, usually portrayed by a man in drag. Risque double entendre, often bringing innuendo out of innocent phrases. Entertainment of adults. That probably does exist. I probably did not pick up on it as much as a child. Or maybe I did. I don't really remember. He's behind you. Or, oh, yes, it is. Oh, no, it isn't. There you go. Audience participation. That's a classic one. I'm sure if you said that to like, I don't know how common pantomimes are now, but maybe like, at least like any millennial, if you go, oh, yes, it is. I'm gonna bet you like 90% of millennials will go back, oh, no, it isn't. In Britain, at least. Oh yeah, you always gotta boo at the villain. Yeah, it very much just encourages you know, like it encourages you to be like a laugh track on like a soap opera or something, or like a sitcom. You know, you got to be that dramatic sort of liaison's a wrong word, but the dramatic sort of audience participation. You got to be like, yeah, do this, etc, etc, etc. Music may be original or rewritten lyrics, maybe like parodies. I probably didn't understand most of the parodies. One half of the audience may be challenged to sing their chorus louder than the other half. That's very common. If they'd like split the audience, I'd be like, oh, let's hear you scream. Oh, let's hear you scream. And obviously they sort of like put you against each other. So all the people in the audience go like, ah. I remember one time actually we saw a pantomime and we actually were front row seats to it, I think. I remember like we were encouraged to like get up and dance in the front row or something like that as well. Although actually, I remember we were told to get up and dance, and then we were like, the teachers were immediately like, sit back down, there are people behind you, and we were like, oh, okay. Good fairy enters the stage from the right, villain enters the stage from the left. Sure, okay. Slapstick comedy routine, that's so true. Oh, animal played by an actor in animal skin. Pantomime horse or cow. Yeah, that's true. That's so true. I don't know that's a pantomime thing, to be honest. That's like the classic horse costume, you know, one person in the head and the front legs, and then the other person sort of like bent over, grabbing their waist. It's the back legs, and the... I don't know what the middle part of a horse is called, but... Croup, dock, haunch. I'm pretty sure haunch is leg. I think dock is like the butt sort of area. I don't know what croup is for a horse. Horse parts. Croup, dock, haunch, shoulders. Okay, croup is like the top part of the back of a butt. A dock is like where the tail goes in. A haunch is not a leg. Where's a haunch? I thought haunch was a leg. Well, it's not on this label. It was a buttocks or thigh. Oh, okay, so it's just going down the back of a horse, around the butt area. You know what? The art of a dress, it has more depth than I perhaps give it credit for. I also didn't know the horse had so many different parts. Back, loin, flank, croup, hip, dock, tail, gaskin, hock, cannon, fetlock, pastern, coronet, hoof, stifle, barrel, chestnut, ergo, heel, pastern, cannon, knee, forearm, elbow. Oh my word, so much. Anyway, sorry, slapstick. Yeah, pantomime is probably the definition of a slapstick theatre performance, right? Harlequinade. I don't know what harlequinade is. It linked me back to the same pantomime image. A part of a pantomime where the harlequin and the clown play the principal parts. What is a harlequin? Harlequin who loves Columbine. Oh, this is a commedia dell'arte rod as well. Okay, well, whatever. What's a lot of theatre like drag now I think about it? Because I was thinking like the leading male juvenile character often played by a woman in male garments. Kind of like the trouser role, I suppose, or whatever it's called in opera, isn't it? Anyway, the chorus, who can be extras on stage. At some point during a performance, characters including the dame and the comic will sit on a bench and sing a cheerful song to forget their fears. The thing they fear, often a ghost, appears behind them, but first the characters ignore them. I don't really remember that. One by one, the characters see the ghost and run off until at last the dame and the ghost come face to face, whereupon the ghost, frightened by the visage of a dame, runs away. Generally did not know. It really is just like the British version of a commedia dell'arte. Principal boy, panto dame, principal girl, comic lead. As physical comedy relates to children in the audience, is usually paired with a dame as a double comedy act. Benevolent magical being, villain. Patriarch, animals. Chorus, dancers. Andorra, wow, has some... not many other things. I never really thought how British it really was, but I guess it is, you know, it obviously screams British, doesn't it? So maybe a lot of you probably were just like, what on earth are you talking about, pantomime? I don't know, like, would I recommend you go see one? Yeah, why not go see one in your life? Like, many different things to see. But they really just feel like spoofs of common sort of stories, really. I'm pretty sure, okay, let's see. Pantomime Mother Goose, which I actually think is recently back in not theatres, back in theatres, but back in like the theatres again. They started doing Mother Goose again, but I remember it's very different from when I was young. Oh, this is a Mother Goose I remember. It's absolutely horrifying looking goose. But I remember walking around London and they had like the Mother Goose sort of like posters up, and I was like, whoa, Mother Goose, look at your eyelashes. Yes, whenever I see like just like a random thing with like randomly fierce eyelashes, you always got to do that. You always got to be like, yeah, it's like, oh, this is a Mother Goose. I think I remember. Is it? Maybe I don't remember. I just remember Golden Egg. Ian McKellen, Mother Goose. Didn't know that. When would I watch it? Like 2000s, probably. Oh, is this the one I remember? I don't know, maybe not. I'm getting really confused now. Let's see. Famous pantomimes. I just feel like I remember them having like a giant golden egg as a part of a story. Did I see a Peter Pan one? Maybe. I genuinely cannot recall all too well now. Dick Whittington? I don't think I've seen that one. I just remember watching a lot of them when I was younger, but I just don't remember what they were. Jack and the Beanstalk sounds plausible. Because I'm going to be honest, they're not like... You don't really remember them for the story. You just kind of remember them for the emotions you feel during the theatrical parts in that moment. Because what else are you going to have from it? It's kind of just my perspective. Anyway, I guess it's probably... No, it's not time. I was about to say, we've still got a few minutes. What am I doing trying to round off pantomime so early? Yeah, that's a problem more like with these anecdotes, is I can't really remember which ones I've seen, so I can't really give stories about them. And I think another big thing which often happens in pantomime is that the actors will often run through the audience. I remember watching that and like wishing at some point, oh, I hope the actors run past our row, despite the fact that we're not. It's probably like a very select few rows that they run through, but probably the ticket prices are really expensive there or something. But there'll be like a chase sequence, and then like I guess the pantomime dame will come out being chased by the villain, and they'll be like, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me, or something like that, and they'll like comment on random people in the audience, I think. I think that's another thing they do. They comment on people in the audience where they're like trying to look up and down for something, and then they'll just like, I don't know, they'll say something flirty to, you know, like one of the dads out there or something, or they'll say something like something amusingly mean. Not amusingly mean, that's perhaps a bit over the top, but something comedic just to make all the children laugh, because I don't know, when you're a child, I suppose your parents being insulted ends up being kind of funny to a certain extent. I don't know how necessarily true that is. Anyway, the long short of it is I don't think I was ever picked on, or anyone I knew was ever like pointed at in a pantomime. Again, I've probably seen maybe like 4 pantomimes at most, is my guess. But it's a very, very British thing. Let's see. Pantomime. Let's see how it's from Reddit. Maybe there's like a whole thing about pantomimes. Does America show pantomimes at children like in England? Almost certainly not. Is pantomime exclusively a British thing? There's one that does it in Toronto. Yeah. Everyone ready for panto? Pantomime skills. Oh, this is probably just someone miming, not actually pantomiming. What's the origin of the word pantomime? Pantomimus, for Latin, which derives from a Greek pantomimus, mimos, panto meaning all, and mimos meaning a dancer, who acted all the roles or all the story. That's a really specific word, Greek. Huh. Anyway, I never really made that connection. Of course pantomime, like it has all these tropes. There's no way it's not just the British derivation of a commedia dell'arte. I've never put that together before. Well, you know, you learn a little bit every single day. Anyway, on that note, I guess we'll round this episode up here. Pantomimes. If you get the opportunity, go ahead. Go ahead and watch one. Why not? It can be silly fun. But otherwise, if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons, and I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscriptions, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now.